Hello. Sorry for jump scaring you with the Windows volume beep a moment ago. But that's why my intro music was so quiet. My headphones were turned down. Anyway, welcome to Morkin Monday, in which I will hopefully have better luck than my first Morkin game. So this is session 3 of Morkin. We are, I guess, a bit over half a session into the second Morkin game. The first one was a bit abbreviated, where after around a session and a half, my character, Morkin, as he always is, was killed by mosquitoes. But we're now in Morkin 2, which is going much better. So we are 9 days into our journey. We have to get from the Tower of the Moon down here, all the way up north to the Tower of Doom up here. And our Morkin is over here by Lake Valathor. So if we look at the map here, we're a bit over a third of the way northward. We've moved around to the east a bunch. So to recap what's happened so far, we've wandered around a bit. We tried to recruit 2 people. They've both declined to join us. So that was the Lord of Shadows, who we got on our first adventure, and Lord Blood, who we didn't visit in our first adventure. We're taking a very different route. And our current state is we're trying to travel up north, passing through a bunch of these interesting numbered landmarks to see what's going on here. And last time we ended at Lake Valathor, where unfortunately Morkin is exhausted, which means we can't travel anymore. We have to rest here until we've recovered some of our fatigue points. We currently have 12, whereas our maximum is 10. And in fact, I was going to look up whether it caps at 10 or if 10 is just the point at which we become exhausted. So let's just have a look at that. Is there an index in this book? No, there isn't. Okay, let's just have a look for fatigue. Because 10 fatigue is, better than 12 fatigue. So yes, we'll need to camp out. That's the only way to recover fatigue. But I guess maybe our fatigue that we earn does go above our max, and we just have to get rid of that. Yep, if you're exhausted, your current fatigue is higher than your max, you cannot travel. So I suppose we do actually have 12 fatigue, we don't have 10. So we need to recover at least 2 points, I suppose. So this would be why traveling through the mountains is bad. So we came up north through the mountains, and that gave us a load of fatigue, which is why we're now stuck here at the lake. So it is a new day. We finished day 9 at the end of the session. We didn't get a good night's sleep because it was rainy. So we're now on day 10. So let's have a look. I believe, yes, I've crossed off the first 9 days here. And we need to roll for the weather as the very first thing. Also reset all of these tokens rather. I think probably the first thing I will do today will be to explore the area of the lake, but then we'll just spend it resting. So let's roll a d10 to determine the weather. And I've got some new dice, which are hopefully much more visible on the camera now. Okay, a 5. So no effects. It's just kind of generic, okay weather. Not particularly exciting, not particularly bad. Let's see. So we actually have 44 hit points. Go on to our character sheet. So, actions of the day. We are at a lake. So one of the things we can do here is we can look at the seek tables. I believe there is a lake table. Yes. Okay, so our first action of the day is going to be to seek, and we'll just see what's going on at this lake. It's not a special numbered location, I don't think. Nope, it's just a generic lake. So we'll be rolling on the normal seek table rather than on the special table. So let's go over to the seek tables, and I'll just double check exhausted, but I believe all exhausted means that I can't travel. I can still seek. So let's see. Conditions. Yes, if you're exhausted, all you're forbidden from doing is traveling. So I can see what's going on at the lake. Let's see, here we go, our seek tables. So we're going to roll a d10 for lake activities. That is a 2. You have found shelter, and you and your companions are refreshed, plus 15 HP, fatigue to 0. That is wonderful. So that's going to fill us back up. That's the best possible result we could have got. Let's note down that we had a great start to the morning. So we had a terrible night's sleep, but this morning, going very well. Shame it's just me and no companions, though, but I've failed to recruit the 2 companions I've come across. Maybe I even had a nap. I woke refreshed and feeling ready to conquer the world. Okay, let's see. So we've got so we have the Citadel of Gorgrath here, which is this is a black citadel, so this belongs to Doomdark, the big bad. If we go here, it's game over. We have over here, is this a ruin, I think? Just generic nameless ruin, and we have Gorgrath here, which is, I think this is a village. Yeah. So we want to go to the village of Kor. So maybe I go northwest and see what's going on in the village of Gorgrath, and then try to make it through the mountains from there. Yeah, I'm going to give that a shot. So that means our afternoon action will be to move to Gorgrath. Do we have any money? Not really. So we could spend the night in Gorgrath, but that would cost 10 silver coins, and we don't have that. So I think we're just going to try to move. We're going to travel in the afternoon. We could fish at the lake for food, because I think we're running low on... Yeah, we've only got 1 ration, so that's not good. But our fishing... We only have a 20% chance in fishing, so that's not a useful thing to do. Actually, let's just look at the fishing rules and see what happens. Yes, you need to succeed the fishing check, otherwise you roll for a mishap, and there's a very low chance we would succeed the fishing check. So I think we just need to press on and hope that we can find some food somewhere. So, okay, let's try traveling northwest to Gorgrath. So, traveling, we are no longer fatigued, so let's... exhausted, rather, so let's get rid of that. We could maybe sell some things at the village and buy some rations. I have to see about that. We are starting in the plains, because we are at a site. All sites count as plains. And we have a horse. So that means we can move 3 hexes. We only need to move 2, because Gorgrath is only 2 hexes away. We don't have a bonus from the weather, but we do have a bonus to our orientation check from the plains. So our orientation skill is 57, which means our target is 77, which is not bad. Possibly famous last words, though. So let's have a look. Yes, also need to roll a d6 when we get there to see if there's some sort of encounter, or event, rather. That is a 99. That's definitely not 77 or less, so we have to consult the Getting Lost hex. We've got a 3, which means we stay here. But we do need to roll for an encounter. It is... so the Ice Sphere is currently 1, so there's no Doomdark encounter, but there's a potential of... let's see. I don't know. We are at a site, so we don't get an event. Yes, if we're at a special site, we have a special table. If we're not at a special site or at a regular site, we roll. Otherwise, if we're at a site, all we can do is seek. So nothing happens. We just wander around the lake for a bit and don't move on. Okay, let's try moving northwest again. We have 2 more hexes we can move this afternoon. Day 24. And that's a 3 on the encounter check, so no encounter. And we can try moving northwest one more time. That's a 23. We've moved into a site, so we don't get an encounter. I didn't actually need to roll that d6, really. But we've made it to the village of Gorgrath. So let's note that down in our diary. Okay. We may end up camping at the village, actually, because I want to spend this evening, and it is now the evening. I think we want to see if there's anything we can do at this village. Maybe it would be very nice if I could sell this random junk I've got on me, because I do only have 1 ration left. I don't want to starve to death. So let's go consult the seek table for villagers. See what happens. Okay, it's a d10. That's a 5. Actually, are all these encounters for villagers the same? You can just buy or sell items. Oh, unless you roll a 9 or a 10. Oh, no, I missed it. There are events for villagers. You can always buy or sell, but you also get an event. Okay. Let's sort out buying and selling first. And I guess we'll spend the night at the village if we have enough money, otherwise we'll need to camp out in the wild. Okay. Equipment and street market tables. Not done this before, so... Okay, so this isn't based on our charisma at all. This is just kind of market price. Okay. Alright, let's see, what's the best to sell? Because, so Venom Thorn leaves and Sweet Flame leaves, we can use them for healing. Despair Spider Eye goes for 4 gold, and a Bloodwing Wing. Sorry, no, a Bloodwing Wing goes for 4 gold, and a Despair Spider Eye that also goes for 4 gold. Okay. Let's so let's say that the white die is going to be the Bloodwing price, and the black die is going to be the Despair Spider Eye price. Okay, Bloodwing wings are in high demand here, so they're going to pay 2 extra gold. But Despair Spider Eyes, they're up to their eyeballs in Despair Spider Eyes, so they're going to go for a bit less. So we could sell our 2 Bloodwing wings for 6 each, so that'd be 12, and plus 2 for our Despair Spider Eye, be 14 silver if we sold all those. I don't really need these things, so I'm going to do that. Which brings up to 17 gold here, which I think is going to be... Let's see, what's our charisma? Our charisma is 30, so spending the night and getting a meal is going to cost 4 silver, so that's very good. So we'll definitely be doing that. But anyway, let's go back to our seek table, because we had an event. We have event 88 in the village. Let's see what that is. Doomdark's Insignias. As with many villages, keeps, and citadels throughout midnight, you are rewarded for each Doomdark's insignia you deliver. The insignias are a symbol of Doomdark's fallen soldiers or agents, and their collection signifies your efforts against the dark forces. For each insignia you hand over, you are given 5 silver coins as a reward, a token of appreciation for your contribution to the ongoing struggle. Okay, we've not encountered any Doomdark forces yet, so I don't have any insignias to hand over. But let's note down that we went to the market, and they're also offering bounties for insignias. Also, I'll buy some rations while I'm here, making sure to keep enough money for the village. Okay, village prices. We want to buy rations. That's a street market. What did our seek tables? Yes, you can. Yes, equipment and street market tables. Okay. So I guess everything is available. And I've already forgotten what the village price table was. Okay, so 4 silver coins for accommodation. We should probably keep 8 silver because we've got the village of Kor up here. So we'll be able to pay for the night in Gorgrath. We may have to camp out once, maybe in the mountains, and then we can spend the night in the village of Kor. So we'll keep 8 silver, but the rest we'll spend on rations. Rations cost 2 silver each, and we have 17 silver. Okay. So we want to keep 8 of that, which means we have 9 silver to spend. I guess we'll just buy 4 rations. For leaving 9 left. Yep, okay. Right, that'll see us through a few more nights, which is good because I don't want to starve to death. And then we'll spend the night in the village. Camping. Here we go. And spending the night in the village is just an automatic success if we can pay. We get HP, we get fatigue, but we're already maxed out on HP and at 0 fatigue, so there's no bonus there. We just don't have a chance of something going bad, which is good. So let's note down that we spent the night there. And it is now... So that was the end of day 10. So we'll cross that off. And I believe we're now at Ice Sphere 2. Because we moved on to the second row of days. So we're on Ice Sphere 2, which means that we will start having Doomdark encounters. Or, well, we'll need to start rolling for Doomdark encounters. And it means that companions are less likely to join us, although we've not managed to recruit any companions at all so far, so I guess that's not really a difference. Anyway, let's see what the weather is. It is 1, same as yesterday, so just generic okay weather. I don't really know why there's a checkbox on here for same as yesterday. Okay, it's morning. And we're in a village, so that counts as plains, and we're setting off, I guess, due north. So we will end in the mountains. Yeah, there isn't a way that gets us through the mountains in, like, on our third move. So we just kind of have to deal with that. So I guess we'll just strike out due north. Which will result in us getting some fatigue when we arrive there. Yeah, so we should end here with 8 fatigue, which is very nearly maxed out again. So traveling through the mountains actually is brutal. Suppose I could go around the mountains. So I guess if we go this way, we'd be passing through 2 sets of downs, which would give us 1 fatigue each. Pass through some downs here, so that we'd have 3 fatigue in total, but we would avoid going through the mountains. Yeah, actually, I think I'm going to try going around the mountains here because there is a lith here, so like a magic stone circle. And we also have a numbered location here, which is... I guess it's the ruin that's the numbered location. Let's just double check that in our special sites table. Yeah, the Ruin of Koroth. That's the special one. So we could maybe go that way, although going to the Ruin of Koroth would take us through more mountains. No, I'll bypass the Ruin of Koroth, but I will swing around and I'll visit this lith and this lake and then the village of Kor. So I'm going to start by trying to go southwest. And we're setting off from plains, so we have a plus 20% chance on this. And now we have to start rolling for our Doomdark encounters. So let's see what dice we need. Okay, a d10. Let's grab one of those. Okay, that is a 9. We move down here. We don't have a Doomdark encounter because, yeah, need a result of 1. I'm kind of tempted to check out the ruins. I've not been to a dungeon yet in this second playthrough, and I did quite like the dungeon mechanics, so... Do I want to go into a dungeon? I do have like 20 days left to save the world. I'm sure it's going to be fine. Yeah, let's go into a dungeon. So in the morning, we just traveled 1 hex. And then in the afternoon, we are going to enter a dungeon. So... let's have a look. Yeah, exploring caverns and ruins. Yes, okay, so we need to... So we seek. So let's go to the seek tables. And this is a ruin, so it will give us a quest. Okay, let's go for that. So this is a D66 roll. It's a 45, which is Quest 5, The Gem of Korloth. A grand stone archway, adorned with carvings of ancient battles, marks the entrance to the ruins of an old citadel. Near the arch, a miner approaches and tells you of a rare gemstone he lost during a recent ambush by a group of Skullcrin, which are like evil dwarfs. The miner believes the Skullcrin took a gemstone and hid it somewhere within the ruins they frequent. He pleads with Morkin to enter the ruins, recover the gemstone, and return it to him. Okay, so if we go in and defeat the Skullcrin, we'll have to kill at least 2 Skullcrin in the throne room. There'll be more along the way. We will get 15 silver coins, which is a lot of money for poor broke Morkin, and 10 XP. So we'll actually get to level up here because you level up every 20 XP. So if we need to kill a few Skullcrin and we get 10 experience points, that's going to bring us up to more than 20. So I think we're going to go for this. Let's note down the events of the day. trying to think what's a nice way of saying accosted, but it's approached. It says it right there in the book. Okay, let's see if we die horribly in a dungeon. Right, so got some stuff left over here. Let's get rid of those. Okay, we have a dungeon. What is our dungeon's name? It doesn't really have a name. I guess it's just the Ruins of Gorgrath. And this is quest number 5. Yep, the Gem of Korloth. Okay, right, let's go to our Cavern and Rune procedure. Although we have it here, but I'll have the full rules up here just for quick reference. So it's a procedurally generated dungeon, and every room we enter, there is a 1 in 6 chance of it being the destination room. So they're pretty small dungeons, but still quite interesting. Okay. Right. Let's see. Is there anything to do to set up? Okay, we've determined the quest. Alright, so we need to roll up our entrance chamber. Determine the number of passages. We got a 6, which means 3 passages. I think probably got like a central door here and like side doors here. So a little small entrance room with a few other passages leading off it. Okay, right, so when we enter a new room, now we'll need to determine the number of exits, which is going to be a d6. We will need to... We can roll... Okay, right, so we want the shape, which is going to be a d6. We want the number of exits, which will be, let's say, this d6. And we can determine what's going on in this room with some d10s. Let's just pick up some of those. Here we go, some d10s. No, that one's not very visible. Let's use this one. Okay. Alright, so we need to decide what is in the room as well, which is going to be more d6s. Okay. So I'll use a not very legible. Oh, that is kind of legible. And do I have another d6 color? Yes, I do. Oh, I was looking at the cavern rules. Whoops. Alright, so I should have rolled to determine the shape of this. Okay, let's start this again. Let's do it properly, following the actual ruins rules. Okay, right. So we've got layout and number of doors. It is a 3 and a 6, so it is a circular room with 3 doors, one of which is a secret door. Okay. Let's have a door here and a door here, and we'll have a secret door like here. This is a beautiful, perfect circle. This is exactly what circles look like. Okay. Right, so we need to now actually see if we notice this secret door with a perception check. So let's do that and then we'll decide where we want to go. And there can only be one secret door per ruin. Okay. So there's only one secret door and that's it. So our perception skill is a 40. We don't have any bonuses or anything. So it's just 40 or lower and we spot the secret door. That's an 18. We spot the secret door. So let's just remove the little S there. So we know we have 3 doors in this room, one of which is secret. I'm going to go through the secret door. That seems the obvious place to go. I need to roll to determine whether the door is stuck or not. So let's just quickly do that. The secret door is not stuck. So I'm going to go through there. So I need to now roll a d6 to determine the layout and a d6 for the number of doors. Oh, secret rooms don't have doors. Okay. Okay, right. So layout 6, the rectangular room. Let's this like this. And let's see what is going on. If it's a secret room, roll on the Ruined Secret Rooms finding table. Open that in another tab. Very exciting. What have we got here? 7. If this is your first time encountering this event, you discover a secret cell holding a weary adventurer. After freeing him from his chains, he offers to join your party, contributing valuable skills but no combat abilities. You can choose to accept or decline his offer. A new companion, Widgeon the Adventurer. Why? He's not on the list of companions. He's a secret companion. Oh, that's neat. Okay, so we'll get a bonus to lockpicking, orientation, and disarm traps. No bonuses to combat, but he does have some HP, so he will soak up a bit of damage. I think that's neat. Let's get Widgeon. Wydan. It's probably Wydan, not Widgeon. Wydan the Adventurer. So no bonuses to perception or... Yep, it's just orientation, lockpicking, disarm traps. I'm not going to bother writing this out. I'm just gonna copy it in. Let's put him up here with the other companions. Okay, 10 orientation, 10 lockpicking, 10 disarm traps. That's very nice. Those are all very adventure-y skills. And he does show up in the combat order, so he will soak up some damage for us. Let's put him here. And he has 20 HP. Okay, we have met Wydan the Adventurer. Right, so now we want to move back into this entrance room. Let's note down that this one was secret, actually, I guess. A reason he was in jail. I mean, he's definitely not very good at lockpicking and disarming traps if he was locked up. But I'll let him off as long as he helps me. Right, so moving back into our starting room, which means there's a 1 in 10 chance of having an encounter. So let's roll for that. 1, we get an encounter. Ruin and Cavern encounter table. Just open that in a new tab as well. I need so many copies of this PDF open. Okay. Day 65. Hang on, that's the exploration table. I want the encounter table. There we go. Okay, it's just a D6, so that's a 6. And it's a cave with Skullcrins in, so we have a Skullcrin Patriarch. Has wandered in. Let's go to our bestiary. So we don't have a separate picture of the Skullcrin Patriarch, we just have this generic Skullcrin picture. So I guess they're kind of like a dwarfy goblin combo. Okay, Skullcrin Patriarch. The Skullcrin Patriarch is a cunning and battle-hardened leader, commanding the respect and loyalty of his tribe through both strength and wisdom. These patriarchs are often found deep within the labyrinthine caves where the Skullcrin reside, or in the entrance room, as this one is, guiding their kin with a blend of ruthless authority and sharp intellect. Though not as agile as their younger counterparts, they make up for it with their strategic acumen and mastery of Skullcrin combat tactics. Okay, let's set up our combat sheet. So he's actually not so bad. Maybe. Ah, that doesn't quite line up. That's really annoying. Okay, right, so we have a Skullcrin Patriarch. He has 32 HP, 60 melee, which is pretty tough, 25 defense, so he's a little bit less defendy than we are. 1 absorption value from his gear, 50 perception, so he is more perceptive than us, and he's worth 3 XP. Ooh. Okay, let's hop over to our combat rolls. But first we're making a perception roll to determine who goes first, and my guy didn't give me a bonus to perception. Just orientation, lockpicking, and disarming traps. I think I'm also going to swap the order in the combat list here, so my new adventure friend, he is going to be the meat shield, and then Morkin will hopefully be a little bit more defended, but we'll see. So perception roll for both me and the bad guy. I got a 68, which is a failure. He got a 65, which is also a failure. So what happens here? If both sides fail, the side with the lower roll wins. He got a 65, so he wins. Which didn't succeed, so I guess he doesn't get the plus 10% bonus. He just goes first. Okay. And he has 2 possible attacks, a Frostbite Slash and a Snowdrift Slash. So let's determine what he does, and also what sort of damage it is if he hits. Okay, that's a 5. That's a critical success. That's very unfortunate. So I guess I will skip this and just look at the critical. The Patriarch deals a powerful blow that delivers a powerful blow that deals 6 HP damage. Okay. I have 1 absorption value, so actually only 5 damage, but my adventure friend is already down a quarter of his HP. There is only 1 enemy though, so that's not so bad. We'll just be alternating blows. So, yes, I think we've previously found the pretty much optimal strategy, unless they have a really low defense value, is spend a round aiming and then hit them. So I spend a round aiming, which means he gets to attack again. That's a 53. That is a success. We got a 6 on the type of attack he's doing. Say Snowdrift Slash. Using the element of surprise, the Skullcrin Patriarch kicks up snow into your face before delivering a quick slash. Actually, I feel that one doesn't make sense indoors. So let's just ignore that. He's doing a Frostbite Slash in this fight. The Skullcrin Patriarch swings a frost-covered short sword at the target. The defender suffers d6 plus 1 damage. Okay, so that's 5 damage to Morkin. Right, so I spent a round aiming. I'm now going to attack. I could aim for a weak spot, which would deal it. No, I've already aimed for a weak spot. I could do a desperate attack, which would deal more damage. But then my defense, I don't have any defense value for his next attack. Sure, let's try a. Yeah, let's try a desperate attack. Why not? So I'm getting. So I'm rolling to hit. I need to get. I'm ignoring his defense because I spent around aiming. So I need to get 60 or less. And I will then deal, if I hit, 2d6 plus 5 damage. That's a 75. That is a miss. That's unfortunate. I feel very dumb now if he hits me because I did that desperate attack. Okay. So he's now attacking me. He needs to just get a 60 or less because I'm unbalanced or something from my desperate attack. That's 35. That would have hit me anyway. I feel less bad about that. And it's a d6 plus 1, isn't it? Yes. So that's just 3 damage. Okay, I spend a round aiming. He attacks me and misses because that's below my defense value. I think I won't do a desperate attack. I'll just attack normally. That's a 27. That is a hit. And it is. Would have been 7 points of damage, but he has 1 gear, so it is 6 points of damage. Okay. Oops. It's his turn again. It's a 78. That is a miss. I spend a round aiming. The Skullcrin attacks me again with a 16, which is a miss. So I attack it. I get a 33. That is a hit for 6 damage. Not 6 damage. 9 damage. It is 6 plus 1, which is cancelled out by his armor, plus 3 because I was aiming, so 9 damage. He will attack me. 31 is just a hit. I believe this next damage. Hang on, no, I think he missed 2, so that. Yeah, so that is on Morkin now. I've lost track of where I was. Did I just spend a round aiming, or am I aiming this round? I think I just spent a round aiming. Let's say I did that. I'll attack him. If I spent a round... No, that's a hit even if I didn't spend a round aiming. Oh, I'm aiming this round. Well, I attacked. And I hit. So that's just going to be 5 damage. Okay, so I'll be aiming. I'll be aiming next round. Yeah. Okay, he attacks. That's 49, which is a hit. And it's on this guy. I spend a round aiming. Oops, the Skullcrin attacks me. And hits. That's on Morkin. I attack the Skullcrin. That is a hit. 8 damage. I think I won't bother aiming now because he's, within range of a single attack. So he attacks me. This attack is on whatever my companion's called. W. That's a hit. I don't believe I can do first aid. No, I can't do first aid and attack in the same round. Okay. Right, I'm attacking the Skullcrin. He gets 26 to 60. No. Okay, Skullcrin attacks me. That's a miss. I attack it. That's a miss. It attacks me. That's a hit, and I believe it's back on the companion as it just missed Morkin. I attack it. That's a critical hit. I don't think I can do anything with the unused attack points. You have to. So, yeah. Let's see. Yeah, they don't carry over to the next round. Anyway, I just got a crit, which means I roll. See the roll in the critical hit table. I guess it's this one. 1 maximum possible damage. So that's going to be 6 because he has 1 armor. So I have killed the guy, which gets me 3 XP. Yes, I need to raise something. I think melee. Yeah, I was missing too many of those attacks. Okay, I've killed the guy, got me 3 XP, and let's roll for what loot we get from the body. 2. D6 silver coins. Yeah, not bad. 6 silver coins. I'm rich. Let's jump back to our exploring. I believe I can do first aid on my poor companion. Let's just see where that fits into the turn sequence. Yes, I can attempt a first aid check to heal myself and my companions. So I think I will do that. I don't have any special. I've got 55 in first aid. That's pretty good. Just find first aid in the list. It's in the section on healing. Here we go. Okay, so I need to spend the bandages up front. I have enough bandages, that's fine. And I can choose to use yeah, okay. Let's try to use both of these sweet flame leaves to give me and my companion 5 extra hit points. So I'll spend 2 bandages and 2 sweet flame leaves, and I shall roll a skill check, and I want to get 55 or better. 25. Perfect. Not a critical, but still okay. All your companions recover d6 plus 2 health points. Okay, I'll roll for Morkin first. And it's, I guess, a d6 plus 7 because I've got my Sweet Flame leaves. Okay, so Morkin recovers 8 hit points. And my companion recovers 13. Okay, let's note those down. Okay. It's a bit worrying encountering a hostile enemy in the entrance room, but it turned out to be kind of okay. I guess let's go west. Why not? We don't have a, like, it's random. It doesn't really matter which direction we go, but I'm gonna go west. So I want to roll this one to determine the layout, and this one to determine the number of doors. So they freeform layouts, and it has no other doors. Okay. Maybe it's another round room. And then we need to roll on the Ruin and Cavern Exploration table to see what it contains. So let's find that. Let's also get a bit of detail about this room. What's going on here? It is a barracks. That makes sense to be right next to the entrance. That is full of debris and smells of excrement. Lovely. There we go. I guess this up here is like a jail. Okay, right, let's see if there's anything going on in this room. 14. An encounter. Roll on the encounters table. 6. Oh my god, it's another Skullcrin page. That feels dumb. Let's re-roll that. It is a Skullcrin. Okay. I'm happy with that. Okay. A Skullcrin. This guy should be easy. Let's fill out the sheet. So he has 20 HP and 55 melee and a defense of 20. He doesn't have any armor, and he has a perception of 60. So very perceptive, but a bit weaker. Okay, let's start with our perception rolls. Morkin failed, and so did the Skullcrin, but the Skullcrin got a lower roll. It got 80 versus my 95, so it's going to go first. The Skullcrin are devious, small, and cunning creatures that employ a variety of special melee attacks to outmaneuver and damage their foes. These attacks leverage their natural agility, natural cold affinity, and sly nature. They are usually found in caverns. This is a variety of special attacks, but there's actually only one attack, which just does d6 damage. The Herb Master is pretty complicated. It takes a full page. Okay, right, the Skullcrin. That's a 23, which is below my defense value, so that is a miss. I think I'll just wail on this guy. He's not that tough, so I'm just going to do back-to-back attacks, I think. Well, I missed that one. Let's alternate dice colors, so it's easy to remember what's going on. That's a 24, which is also below my defense value. 18. It's not a very good combat so far. 62. That's a miss. 19. Wow, this is going awfully. We're just standing in a room, swinging our fists, unable to hit the other. That's a miss. I think I will aim because I'll spend this round aiming because I just keep missing. So next round, it attacks again. 57. That's a miss. That's above its melee value. But now I've aimed, so I should have an easier time hitting it. I missed any of it because I rolled a 91. Ugh. Uh, 27. It's a miss. 80. Oh, my God. What is going on with this fight? Okay, I aim, and then it attacks again. It missed, so... how are all of these rolls so high? That's a 9, which is not a critical hit, so that missed as well. Okay, I aim, it does its thing, it missed. This is like a comically inept fight. I'm just gonna... maybe I could flee the fight. 43. It hit. It finally hit. Oh my God. I don't know who that was at. Let's just say Morkin. For 1 point of damage. Okay. Okay. My God. I hit it. Wow, the fight is maybe started now. Okay. It hits again. That's hits 4 damage. $53. Yep, that's just a hit. Nope, that's a miss. That's we're back to the missing. Yep, we're back to the missing somehow. And if I get all my bad rolls out now, the rest of the session's gonna be full of amazing rolls, right? That's how it works. So 60, yeah. A critical hit. Let's put up melee. One percentage point more likely to hit it. I'll really add up. 35. Yes, that hits. But it's only 1 point of damage, so it is absorbed by my armor. That hits. Probably Morkin. That's a miss. Miss. She needs to do 2 points of damage. Come on. Miss. Even a 1 on the d6 will do this because I have the +1 from my sword. 34, that's a hit. Wait, no, that was only 1 point of damage because of the armor. It's a hit. Oh, that was the terrible combat. That was truly awful. Let's see what loot this guy has. D6 minus 2 bandages. 2 bandages. Okay. Ah, wow. 2 XP. Let's update these. I suppose I'll try to do another first aid roll. So let's go for that. I guess I'll put a sweet flame leaf in my companion's bandage. Yep, that's a success. So my companion gets d6 plus 7 HP back. Okay, he gets 10 back. So that's actually maximum. And Morkin gets a d6 plus 2 back. 4. Okay. Right. So we need to move back into the entrance hall. There's a 1 in 10 chance of an encounter. Nope. So now I want to move east and see what we find. A 3-3. That is a circular. There's a lot of circular rooms in this dungeon. A circular room with 1 other door. Let's have it. Like here. And what is going on in this room? Let's roll for some room features. It is a hall that has debris and bone dust. Okay. And what is going on in this room? 56 is going on in this room. Where is our table? You enter a room containing several clay jars. I guess they may be like on a table in this hall that has somehow escaped the ruination. Smashing to see what's inside. Very Legend of Zelda. Yes, smashing the jars. We find something useful inside. Okay, let's see. D6 to determine what we get. 5 silver coins. Let's note that down. Silver coins don't grow on trees. They grow in halls. Okay. Right, moving on. Please don't be another circular hall. A free-form room with 2 doors. Only... Let's see. Was there something about there only being 1 secret room? Also, I've not been rolling to see if doors are stuck. Okay, I'll try to remember that. Going forward. Yes, there's only 1 secret door per ruin. So we get a freeform room with 2 doors that are visible. They are not secrets. Let's make this a square room. Or maybe like a rectangular room. And let's see what is going on in this room. Or what sort of room it is. It is a library with inscriptions and a smell of stale air. And what's happening? What sort of encounter do we have in this room? 24 is what encounter we have in this room. That is actually an encounter. Let's go to our encounters table. Two skullcrins. So there's N skullcrins, and N is the number of party members. So 2 skullcrins. Go to our combat tracker. We've got 2. We need to do our perception rolls as always to start the fight off. So I've failed every perception roll so far this game, or this session. The Skullcrin passed, not a critical success, just a regular success, but it is a pass. That's a plus 10, I believe, to their first attack. Yes. Okay. And so there's 2 Skullcrins, so they'll get 2 attacks off before we get to react. Okay, so their first attack against whatever my companion's called. I feel bad not remembering his name. Wydan. First attack against Wydan. Okay. Is a 15, which is below my defense value, so that doesn't hit. And then now that's their plus 10 gone. So next attack is against... let me just see. Okay, I think I've been doing slightly wrong. So the combat order determines the order in which damage is taken. I think I was moving on even when damage hadn't been taken. That's much easier to remember. Okay, so the second one, still on Wydan. That is a 19, which is a miss. Okay, after the horrible traumatic experience of the last combat, I am going to aim. Because it was just too bad missing every single attack last time. So I spend a round aiming, which means they're going to attack Wydan again. It's a 43, that is a hit for 3 damage. And then the second one is attacking Morkin for a 9, that is a miss. Okay, I aimed, so I'm ignoring their defense value. That is a 45. That's a hit, would have been a hit regardless, for 9 damage. Okay, back to them. They are on Morkin still. It's an 11, misses. The second one, it's a 32, that is over my defense value, so that hits, for 5 damage. I will spend the next round aiming. So now they're attacking Wydan for a 42. 1 damage, that's absorbed by my armor. And I guess that counts as dealing. Maybe it doesn't actually. It says each time an enemy successfully attacks and deals damage, the hit will be taken by a different member of the defending group. it hit, but it didn't deal damage. So I guess the second one is still on Wydan for a 64, which is a miss. So now I spent a round aiming. So I'm going to try to hit it. 87 is a miss. There's the risk of aiming. Right, back on Wydan. 51. Yep, they hit that for 1 point of damage. And now on Morkin. 33. That is a hit for 5 damage. Maybe aiming doesn't make sense when there's 2 enemies. Yeah, I'll just try hitting it without aiming, I suppose. Still have a decent chance of that. But I missed. Okay, next one is on Wydan. That's a hit. I'm rolling all the good 30s numbers for the enemies, and I don't like that. Now the second one is on Morkin. 64, that is a miss. I'll try to attack. An 8, that is below their defense value and is not a critical, so that's a miss. I think it's on Morkin. Actually, I just damaged Morkin. So that was on Wydan actually, I think. Now it's on Morkin. Miss. Okay, I shall try to hit. Maybe it's time to actually think about retreating. Yeah, I'll try to hit. 60. That is a hit for, well, 2 whole points of damage. Okay. I've got an idea to track who is being damaged. I don't know why I didn't think of this before. Put a little tracker there. Okay, so now on Morkin. 46 is a hit. Now it's on Wydan. 55, that is sadly a hit. It's actually 7. Yeah, this fight isn't going well for the Morkin gang. Yes, I think aiming does make sense. I'll spend a round aiming, so it's back to them. That is a miss. 51. That is it. It's absorbed by my armor, so that doesn't matter. Okay, I've now aimed, so I'm attacking. And I keep rolling super high in Morkin's attacks. That's really annoying. That's a miss for the enemy. That's another miss for the enemy. I'll spend a round aiming. 34. That hits Morkin for 4 damage. .33, that hits Wydan. His name just will not stick for 4 damage. Okay, so retreating, I'd need to roll a 56 to retreat. And then they get a free attack on me. I think retreating makes sense as our HP is getting a bit low. We've barely been able to hit these guys. Yeah, let's try retreating. So what my defense value was 56. So let's try that. That's a critical success retreating. So that's 1 point in. Let's see, the critical success on the defense roll. Can I apply that in melee? Let's look at my skills. Getting better. Okay, no, it's when you roll a critical during an attack. So this critical for my retreat is going to go into defense. And sadly, it doesn't increase my defense value because defense value is defense stat divided by 2 rounded down. They get a free attack, so I'll need to roll for that. 29. Damn it, that hits. That hits Morkin for 4 damage. But we retreat back to the hall, I guess. Let's put a little marker down here. And this dungeon's kicking our asses. Let's try. I think we've got to try first aid again. I don't have any sweet flame leaves left. Nope, that's a miss on the first aid roll, so I don't think anything bad happens. Let's just double check. I think it just means I've wasted those bandages. Let's see, healing. Yeah, I've just wasted those bandages. I guess we'll leave this. Just come out of the dungeon. Sorry, man, there's too many Skullcrin. That was our afternoon, I believe. Yeah, so let's keep moving. Let's see. I could potentially go. So I'm traveling in forest. I can travel 3 hexes, and stopping in a forest doesn't give you any penalties. So I could potentially move here, and then the next morning, because that will bring us to night. If I just move 1 hex and stop, the next morning I could make my way through the mountains with 1, 2, 3. Rather than swinging all the way around. No, let's try swinging around. I'll visit this lift along the way to see what happens. Okay, so we're at a site which counts as plains, so we get the plus 20 bonus to our orientation skill check. I've also got the plus 10 from my companions. That's a good reason to not have this guy die. Let's just update our HP here. He's down to 3, and Morkin is down to 16. Right, so where's my travel table? Here we go. Right, so my orientation target is actually 87 now, which is very nice. But I have to roll for a Doomdark encounter as well as a regular encounter. So let's go southwest. Oh, so I need to update our time tracker. So we're now in the evening. Okay, that's a success on the roll, and the Doomdark encounter, should actually have been a D10, shouldn't it? Yes, let's roll a D10 for the Doomdark encounter. No Doomdark encounter, and no regular encounter. but we are moving into downs, so we get 1 fatigue. Let's do that. Right, we can move potentially 2 more hexes, so let's go southwest again. That is a 95, which is above our target of 87, so we have failed the orientation roll, and we got a 3, which means we are stuck here. And let's see, do we need to roll for a Doomdark encounter? I guess we do. Got a 0 on the Doomdark encounter, which that's okay. It's just a 1 that makes something happen. And we need to roll to see if we have an encounter, an event, I guess. Yes, we get an event here. Let's go to the events table. Let's travel here, events table here. We're in the downs. Event 53, which is event 32, of course. You find wild horses. As you travel, you come upon a small herd of wild horses grazing in a clearing. The horses are strong and agile, their coats glistening in the sunlight. One of them could make a fine mount for you or a companion, but taming such a creature requires patience and skill. You may attempt to tame a wild horse as many times as you wish, but each attempt consumes 1/4 of the day, preventing you from taking other actions during that time. To tame a horse, make an animal handling skill check. For each additional attempt, you get a temporary +10 bonus to your animal handling skill as you become more familiar with the horse's temperament and movements. You also use a ration that gives a +10 bonus. And it occurs to me that actually Wydan probably doesn't have a horse because he was locked up in a dungeon. So we can't actually move 3 hexes because he doesn't have a horse. So maybe we do want to do this. Okay, well, that would bring us to the end of evening. So let's note down what we've done today. Okay, right, we've rescued Wydan, an adventurer. We then found some wild horses. But now we need to camp before we can try to get some horses. So maybe we'll try getting some horses in the morning, or a horse in the morning. So let's see, we're in the downs. I don't think anything special is going to happen that affects our attempt to camp. Let's see. Yep, it's just a straight camping roll, for which I have a 40% chance, so that is not great. I would kind of like to camp because we're low on HP. Let's see. 46, which is not a success. Okay, so something bad happens. 5. While preparing the bonfire to cook your dinner, you hear midnight lions roaring just a few steps away. Unfortunately, the bonfire dies down and a midnight lion attacks you. Am I going to be killed by lions in the night? Midnight lion. Nice. That's fairly tough. Yeah. Okay, let's fill out our combat tracker. Maybe the problem of needing to get wide on a horse is about to solve itself. Alright, let's see. 29 HP, 60 melee. It's healthier than both of us put together. Defense value of 25. It doesn't have any armor and has a perception of 50. Descended from the wild cats of the Bloodmark, these majestic creatures have adapted to the harsh conditions of midnight. Their fur, white as freshly fallen snow, allows them to blend seamlessly into their icy surroundings. Their eyes emit an eerie blue glow, and their presence chills the air around them. Encountering a midnight lion is a harbinger of death, of terror and death. Yeah, I think it really is. Okay, let's roll our perception rolls. 69 for me, which is not nice in this case. The lion got a 47. The lion wins and will get a bonus to its first attack. It just has the one sort of attack. Let's go. 84, that is a miss. I'll spend a round aiming, because it has a pretty high defense value, actually. And it got a 57 this time, which is a hit, but only 1 damage. So that is absorbed by the armor. So now, having aimed, I shall attempt to hit it. But I get a 35. That hits. It's going to deal 6 damage. So we have a +1 from our weapon and a +3 for aiming. The lion attempts to hit. It is still on Wydan. That's 100. That's a fumble. The midnight lion roars so fiercely that it disorients itself, leaving its ears ringing. The lion is stunned for a round, shaking its head in bewilderment. That's very convenient. That means I can aim and then attack without it getting an attack in between. So that is what I will do. 83, that's a miss anyway. Okay. Back to the lion's turn. 57. That is unfortunately a hit. Wydan is torn from limb to limb by a lion. Goodbye, Wydan. I only knew you for I didn't even know Wydan for half a day. I met him. I guess I did know Wydan for half a day. I met him in the afternoon and saw him torn apart in front of me that night. Oops. Okay. Well, I no longer need to get a horse for him. Okay. I spend a round aiming, so the lion gets another attack. And gets a critical hit. The Midnight Lion channels its primal instinct to a devastating strike, dealing 8 HP damage in a single powerful attack. Well, only 7 because I've got 1 point of armor, but that's still very bad. I'm about to be killed by a lion. Okay. I spent a round aiming, so I now attack. It's a 33, that is a hit. 8 damage. Yeah, okay. The lion attacks. And misses. I spend a round aiming. The lion attacks again. 50. Yep, that is a hit. 4 damage. I attack the lion. 94, that is a complete miss. The lion attacks me. That's a 12. That's below my defense value, so that misses. I don't think I can really spend the time aiming, so I just have to try to hit the lion and miss. The lion, 24. That's below my defense values. That's a miss. That's a 21, which is that's below the lion's defense. So if I had aimed, that would have been a hit. The lion misses. I will spend a round aiming. The lion misses again. 32, that hits. I think all of my hits so far have actually been values that aiming have been rolls that aiming didn't help with, but I've only hit after aiming, which is quite frustrating. Anyway, that was 10 points of damage. So now the lion attacks. 48, that is a hit, but it is absorbed by my armor. I spend a round aiming, and the lion attacks again. It's a 42. That hits for 1 point of damage. I attack. It's a 4. That is a critical hit. So I need to find the crits table. Let's see. I think I scrolled past it. Critical hits. Okay, let's see. 6. Instant kill. The lion explodes. I guess I lopped the lion's head off with my two-handed sword. Lion. I get 2 whole experience points from this near-death experience. More than near-death for my poor companion. And I get some lion skin from it, I guess. High-quality lion skin. Is that good? Is that useful? Just gonna check the village, like the street market table. How much does high-quality lion skin go for these days? 6 silver. That's not amazing. Okay, so I have a horrible restless night in which I fight a lion to survive, and my companion is killed in front of me. I guess I can try first aid to heal myself up a bit, so I'm just going to use up my last bandage. I also need to use a ration, spending the night outdoors. Let's see, can I at least heal myself a little? That's crits on the first aid. So first aid goes up to 56, and I recover D10 plus 2 hit points. 9 hit points. Okay. So 13 health. I really thought I was going to die in that fight, but I guess I somehow made it. Anyway, we're now on day 11. Yes, we just completed day 11. It's not just any lion, a midnight lion. Yes, there was 2 XP from the lion, which I added to my character sheet. The midnight lion attacked our camp in the night. I barely survived. Wydan did not. To move this over a little bit. There we go. Oops. Oh no, what did I do to it? There we go. Okay. Right, that was a horrible night of day 11. I've marked off my ration, so I need to cross off the day and roll for the weather. As it is now day 12. Day 6, so no effects on the weather again. Yes, NPCs are pretty fragile. And I guess they're worth having because they give you bonuses to things, but they don't seem to last very long. Or maybe I'm just bad at this. I don't know. Okay, where are we? We're down here. What's my fatigue? 1. Yeah, I think I need to like swing around the mountains and get to this village because there I can recover a bunch of health, I think. So let's try going southwest. We're in the downs, so we don't get a plus 20 bonus to our orientation skill check. And we're setting off from downs. So we can still move at 3 hexes. Actually, my health dropped below 10, didn't it? That means I lost my horse. Oh, I still have this from the last character. But yes, I'm now unhorsed, unless I choose to spend time trying to get these wild horses. But my animal handling is so bad. So if I'm unhorsed, how does that affect my fatigue? It means I will get fatigue every hex I travel through. And it basically makes moving through mountains impossible, given that my max fatigue is 10. Alright, I will try to spend a little time here getting some horses. So let's find that event. Okay, wild horses. I'll spend like a day on this. If I don't do it today, I'll just move on without a horse. And hope I can get another attempt. Another horse from somewhere. So animal handling, I guess I'm not going to offer a ration because I'll need my rations if I'm traveling for days without traveling for days because I'm going slowly without a horse. So let's just try it. 30% chance of getting a horse. Nope, way off. So that was morning. Then for afternoon, we get a plus 10 bonus. Nope. An evening. I guess it's a plus 20 bonus now. 5. Crit success on the animal handling. Okay. Alright, so that took up... we now need to camp. So that took up the entire day. This is day 12. Just morning, afternoon, evening. I tamed one of the wild horses to replace my own. I shall name him Glitterhoof. Let's hope there's no more line attacks tonight. That would really suck. Okay. Let's camp. It's a 40% chance, so... 100. Terrible. Absolutely awful. That is a... Well, it doesn't say anything especially bad happens with the fumble. It's just a fail. 7. Well, let's mark off a ration first. Only have 3 days of food. 7. You camped on unstable terrain and wake up to a snow and rock slide. Morkin suffers d6 minus 2 damage. 2 damage. I mean, at least it's not bad enough to kill my horse. There we go. The ground gave way overnight and I awoke half buried and unrested. Well, let's cross off another day. Suddenly feels like time is starting to run down a bit. Spending a day here and there, resting and so on. So press on, I think. Let's roll for the weather. 2. It's clear weather. Nice. Okay, right, clear weather. So we get a +10 to our orientation roll. We need to make some serious progress today, I think. I'd like to end today at the village of Kor, if possible. So let's just see, is that actually possible if everything goes well? So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. No. So the best we can do is get to this village, unless if we go through the mountains. 1, 2, 3. Then we'll be starting in the mountains from there, which is 2 hexes. 1, 2. 1. Okay, so if we go through the mountains, we will get to the village of Kor. I think I'm going to go around the mountains and try to get to this unnamed village over here, and then make it to the village of Kor the next day. And then from the village of Kor, we should be able to strike pretty much due north over here, like swing through these mountains. Just to see like an ideal timeline. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So that's 1 day. 2 days. Because I think we want to do something at the village of Kor. 3 days. Maybe we want to get there actually for our 3rd day and our 4th day. That'll be the 5th day. 6th day. Okay, so we can get there in under a week. Maybe. But yeah, let's try swinging around to this village over here first and see what happens. So it's morning, it's a new day, it's clear weather. So yes, +10 on my orientation roll. I'm setting off from downs, so no bonus there. So I have a target of 67. I need to roll for Doomdark encounters and other encounters as well. So trying to head southwest. 63, that is a success, and there's no Doomdark encounter. We get 1 fatigue because we've ended up in downs. Now heading northwest. That's a success. 2, I think it's a 1 on the Doomdark encounter that makes a thing happen. I don't know, a 1 or a 2 if you're in the plains, which we are, so we have a Doomdark encounter. And the regular encounter only happens if we don't have a Doomdark encounter. Okay, so we need to go consult the encounters table and refer to the Doomdark column. Ooh. First Doomdark encounter. Alright. I guess these guys will drop the like the Doomdark's insignias that we can sell at villages. That'll be quite nice if we could get around here with some stuff to sell. Okay. 4. A Hound of Doomdark. Okay, let's go to our encounters. Hound of Doomdark. Okay, it doesn't drop Doomdark's insignia, only wolfskin. But the... Okay, so Doomdark's, like, human troops do drop insignia, potentially. But the Hound of Doomdark is just a wolf. Though fighting this is pretty bad given our weakened state. Okay, Hound of Doomdark. Do we have a picture? Oh, that's horrible. It looks more like a were-dog. Anyway, these formidable creatures are larger than ordinary wolves, with an imposing, almost skeletal frame covered in massive fur that seems to absorb the surrounding light. Their eyes emit an eerie, otherworldly red glow, and their breath mists in the frigid air. Their teeth and claws are unnaturally long and sharp, capable of tearing through both armor and flesh with ease. On rare occasions, they serve as mounts for the Ice Lords, leaders of Doomdark's armies. Okay, let's fill out our combat sheet. I'm down to 11 HP, so this is very bad. Hound of Doomdark, it has 24 HP, 55 melee, a defense value of 30, no armor, and 80 perception. Ugh. I feel we just need to run. I don't think that I can kill this. But we need to roll to see who goes first. Oh, it gets advantage on perception checks made for initiative. Okay, I got a crit success. It succeeded, so it will beat me in initiative if it gets a crit success. It did not get a crit success. Okay, so crit success in initiative. That gives a plus 20 to your next melee check. I feel, since it's a bonus to your first action, I feel that should also apply to the defense roll if you're just fleeing as the first thing. So I'm going to say that happens. So I need to make a defense skill check, and I get a plus 20 because of my crit success in the initiative, which also boosts my perception because I got a crit. So my perception is now 41. So I'm now making a defense roll. And plus 20, I need to roll a 77 or less. Okay, that's a success. It gets to make a free attack. That's a 20, which is below my defense value, so that's a failure. Unless it has some sort of super special ability. No, it doesn't have some sort of super special ability. So I run away. And this means I have to move back in the direction I came. So I am now here, and there is a Hound of Doomdark here. So I can't really pass through there. Okay, I think that was movement number 2, so I think I have one movement left. Which I guess... if I move down to this mountain here, I can then skirt around the Hound. So let's try that. That's a success and no Doomdark encounter, but I've moved into a mountain, so I get a load of fatigue. 2 fatigue. Right, so that was morning. Let's note this down before I forget. So that was morning. Now it's afternoon. We're starting moving in a mountain, which means we can only move 2 hexes. So I'm going to try to move northwest. And I always forget my target numbers, so it's good weather, so +10 for the orientation check. So my target is a 67. That's a 27 and no encounters. So we move along here. No fatigue because we moved into some plains. And now we're in plains, so we get a +20 bonus. So my target is now 87. Because we have the good weather and we're in plains. It's a 62. That's... we've got a 2 there. Is that an encounter? I can never remember. Yes, an event occurs. So we've moved here, and we have an event. So let's go to the events table. And we're in the plains. This is plain event 41. A farmer. As you travel, you come across a farmer walking along the road with a cart full of produce. He explains he's on his way to a nearby village to sell his goods at the market. Well, if he's heading east, there's an evil wolf in the way. Upon hearing about your mission, the farmer nods thoughtfully and decides to offer his assistance. He reaches into his cart and hands you 4 rations with a kind smile. Take these, he says. You'll need them more than I do. Thank you, kind farmer. I was close to running out of food, actually. It's much appreciated. Alright, so that was my movement for this second quarter of the day, the afternoon. Yeah, let's interpret it that way. I warned him about the hound, and that's why he gave me some rations. In the evening, we're going to continue moving, so we're not going to make it to this village by the end of the day, which is a bit sad. We could maybe make it to this lith, and we could check it out in the morning. Yeah, let's go check out the lith. I believe the last lith we went to put us in a time loop where we got to repeat the day, so that would be convenient. So let's go northwest. Success, all okay. Northwest again. All good. We've moved into some downs, so we take a point of fatigue. Halfway through our fatigue tracker now. And then we'll try to move north. Yep, also okay. So we won't be able to do anything here as it is now night. But we can camp at least. We get a +10 bonus to camping because of the good weather. So we have a 50-50 chance of being able to camp tonight. Nope. Morkin has never made camp successfully in his life. Bad thing 2 happens. You have camped in a very wet area, causing some of your rations to spoil. Remove D6 -2 rations. 1 ration. Okay, and also need to remove 1 for eating. So that's... There we go. Okay. Okay, that was day 13. Done. The end of the world drawing closer one day at a time. So let's see what the weather is. 5. Back to no effects. I think we want to check out what's going on with this lith first thing in the morning. So I'll do that. I will seek, which means going to the seek tables. Let's find lith. Here we go. Lith. Okay. Eight. Morkin finds the Hand of Dark, which brings death to the day. It's night. Oh, that's the opposite of what I wanted, really. Okay. Okay, fine. Day 14 is a very short day. I don't really want to travel through the night because I will start suffering penalties to things, so I guess I just need to camp out again. That's a 39. That's my first camping success, probably. Recover D6 plus 2 HP and D6 fatigue. Maybe I made camp really well because I'm still awake because it was only morning minutes ago. Okay, 8 HP. That's very nice. And D6 fatigue. Okay, 2 fatigue. I'm down a ration. Feels definitely worth noting now that I actually had a restful night for once. Gonna need a new diary. In a couple of days. Okay, right, day 15. This is the halfway point of our quest to save the world, so it's a little worrying that we're still so far off, but it's not the end of the world yet. Right, let's roll weather. 1. Same as yesterday, no effects. Okay, and we're definitely starting the day with traveling. So I want to go. So today, ideally, we could make it to the village of course. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. So yes, we should be able to make it to the village of Core today. So I'm going to start by going northeast. 48, that's fine. Doomdark encounter, we're on the plains. And it was a 1 or a 2 on the plains, wasn't it? It was. Okay, let's go to the encounter table. 2. A Doomdark warrior. We can kill this guy to get some insignia. Let's fill out the combat tracker. So he has 25 HP. He has 60 melee. That's pretty tough. 30 defense value. That's also pretty tough. 1 piece of armor. 40 perception. Wow, he's almost as he's slightly more unperceptive than I am. Okay. Okay, I got a 31. I succeeded. He got a 62. He did not. So I will get the plus 10 bonus, and I get to act first. Let's see. I think I'll spend this round aiming. So he will attack. That is a 35. That is a hit for 4 damage. Now it is my turn. I aimed, and I have... So I aimed, so I ignore his defense value, and I have the plus 10 because I won the perception check, and it's the first melee action you do. So I need to aim... I need to hit a 72 or less to hit him. And I rolled an 85. Okay. Okay, he attacks me. It's 38. That hits for 1 point of damage. I don't want to retreat because then I'll be moving a step back again. I will aim. He attacks and misses. I missed. He attacks and hits, but it's absorbed by my armor. I aim, so he gets another attack. And misses. Let me just double check what a fumble is. I've been treating 100 as a fumble, but is that right? Or is it... Are there other things that are fumbles? Let's see, fumble. Okay, a fumble is 100. It's not like a 95 plus or something. Okay. Anyway, yes, he missed. I aimed, so I'm attacking now. Got a 99. Okay. He attacks. That's a 19, which misses. I'll aim, so he attacks again. So another miss. My attack. That's a hit. For 9 damage because of his 1 defense. Right, his turn. Miss. I spend a round aiming. He attacks. And misses again. I attack. What is that, 17? Yeah, that's a miss. Okay. Here's 2 attacks. 45, that's a hit for 4 damage. If I take 1 more point of damage, I lose my horse again. That's a miss. Now my attack. 56, that's a hit. 7 damage. His attacks. 56. Yep, that is a hit. 5 damage. I lose my horse again. No, my horse. He misses. I hit for 6 damage. He's down to 3 hit points. Probably the next attack is just going to kill the other combatant. He misses. 57. He hits for 4 points of damage. I'm to 1 hit point. I hit and kill him. Okay. 2 more XP. To see what loot he has. 9. D6 silver coins. That's not actually that useful. I prefer the Doomdark Insignia. I think that goes for, on average, more money. 4 silver coins. Um. Okay. I don't have any bandages. I can't do first aid on myself. I was down to 1 hit point. That's really bad. Okay, well, that was the first movement action. So I get 2 more moves. I'm setting off from planes now, so my target is, what, 70? Yep, 77. Yep, that's fine. No encounter. Um, I stay in the same place. No, I failed. I veer off to the left, and I have a Doomdark encounter. Um, Doomdark's Rider. What is that? That sounds bad. The Doomdark Riders are a terrifying cavalry force that strikes fear into the hearts of their enemies. Mounted on massive war steeds with black fur and glowing red eyes, these riders are clad in thick, blackened armor that reflects the cold, merciless power of Doomdark. With unnerving silence, they charge across the frozen wastelands, leaving a trail of death and frost in their wake. The Doomdark Riders serve as the vanguard of the Dark Sorcerer's armies, their speed and brutality unparalleled as they thunder through the frozen wilds, crushing all who oppose their master's reign. Wherever they ride, despair follows. Okay. I mean, I have 1 hit point left, so really, I need to like win initiative and then flee, and then he has to miss his free attack. Otherwise, I'm just gonna die. So let's just roll for that. So my perception is 41, his is 65. We both failed the perception, but his result is lower, which I believe means he goes first anyway. Yeah. Okay. So he goes first. I'm not even going to bother filling out the combat sheet because it's not going to last multiple rounds. Okay, so he failed to hit me, so I'm just going to try to retreat. Nope. 21. I believe that's below my defense value, yeah. 27. That I succeeded on my defense check to try to flee, but he gets a free attack, which he missed. Okay. I managed to move back a hex, and here we have a rider, Doomdark's rider. Wait, no, I came from there, didn't I? Yes, I went 1, 2, tried to go 3, ended up here, came back. So that was the end of my movement for the morning. So it is now afternoon. If I make it to a village, I might not die because I can pay for someone to look after me. So I think I just need to go to this village now. I can't risk any more Doomdark encounters. So I'm going to try to go southeast and then northeast. That's all fine. And then northeast, 77. Yep, that is my target number in planes. Okay, I make it to this village. That's my afternoon thing. So rest. I believe I can do that in a village. Let's have a look. Okay, so I can rest at a village, which restores D6 HP. Let's look at the village prices table. So that'll be 2 silver coins, and then another 4 silver coins for the night. So it's 6 coins, and I can also use the market, I think. Yeah, let's do that. So it's D6 hit points for resting, and then for camping, I get D6 plus 2. Okay, so 2D6 plus 2 hit points back. Okay, 8 hit points back. That's still bad, but not awful. And I can use the market, I think. So I'll sell my high quality lion skin. How much are they going for around here? They're going for 2 higher, so they're going for 8. Okay. I should buy some... Well, okay, is there any better armor I could buy, actually? That would be useful. I don't think so, right? A helmet costs... Yeah, a helmet is way more than I can afford. I could buy a... Okay, I keep failing my camping rods. Maybe I should buy some camping gear. Yeah, let's buy some camping gear. So that gives me a 10% bonus to my camping. I have 6 coins left. I think I want to save those for when I make it to the village of Kor. Okay, so that was my evening and night. Right, what did I do in the morning? I just started traveling, and then I encountered a Do Not Rider, and then in the afternoon I went east. Okay, cool. Makes sense. Okay, that's day 15 done. We're now halfway through our timeline. And it's seeming really hard moving up north from here because of all the Doomdark encounters. But we're not out yet. So it's the next day. I don't really want to spend the time seeing what's going on in this village. I just want to move on, I think. So let's roll for the weather. 4. Okay. Standard weather. Right, let's... So the village of Kor is a numbered location, which means there's probably going to be a special character here we can try to recruit. So let's strike out north and try to swing around to the village of Kor. So we're setting off from plains, so our target for orientation is 77. That's 92, and it's a 3, we stay in the same place. Okay. Second movement, 84, that's... We still a fail, and a 3, so we stay in... Oh my god, we just can't leave this village. Third attempt of the morning. 88. Ah, that's a 6. So we actually swing to the right. So we're going to gain some. Oh, we lost fatigue for being in for camping in the village. So we lose D6 fatigue. 6 fatigue. Okay. But it goes up by 2 because we've just ended our movement in the mountains. Okay, that was the morning. That was a very unproductive morning. In the afternoon, we're going to try traveling again. We can only move 2 hexes because we're starting in the mountains. That sucks. So I'll try to go due north, down into the forest. 75, that's a failure because we don't get the bonus because we're not in the plains. It's a 5, so we actually swing to the right again. So we're going to take 2 more fatigue before ending up in mountains again. We don't have a Doomdark. I do need to roll for a normal encounter. Normal encounter we have. I also should have rolled for 1 in the previous hex. 2 in the previous hex. Let's see. Okay, we actually had an event in the previous hex as well, so let's resolve both of those. They're both mounted encounters. So it's a 23. Which one was that actually? 23 is 21. Okay. Snakes. Without realizing it, you step into a nest of snakes coiled amidst the undergrowth. The sudden hissing and slithering sends a jolt of alarm through you. If you're riding a horse, it panics at the sight and sound of the snake. I'm not riding a horse because my horse died again. You are now poisoned. Okay, let's look at the conditions. What does poisoning do? Lose 2 HP every day. I don't have many hit points to lose. Okay. Alright, so that was encounter. So that was event 1 from the first hex. Now we have 1 for this hex as well. 34. A violent wind. As you travel, a sudden and violent wind gusts from seemingly nowhere. The force is immense, pushing you off your path, making it nearly impossible to maintain your footing. You struggle against the howling wind, but the relentless force leaves you unable to make any meaningful progress. You are unable to move further hexes for the remainder of this quarter of the day. I think that was our final attempt anyway. Increase your fatigue by 4. Okay. That was the afternoon. Now it is the evening. We're going to try to travel again. We're unhorsed, we're in the mountains, we can only move 1 hex. So let's try moving down into the forest. That's a success, but we get a Doomdark encounter. Also get some fatigue, probably. Yeah, we're moving on foot into the forest. That is 1 fatigue. So we're actually not going to be able to make it to the village of Kor. That's unfortunate. Okay, a Doomdark encounter. Let's go look at that. I think we're probably just going to die here. 3. A Doomdark warrior. Yeah, these guys have 25 hit points. We have 9. And okay, I think we just need to try fleeing again. So let's do our perception rolls. Okay, I succeeded on my perception roll, but not critically, but you know, enough to go first and get a 10% bonus to my defense roll to try to escape. So let's go for that. Yes, okay, so we succeeded the defense roll. He gets a free attack on us. 63. That's a miss. Okay, we get away, but we have to flee back in the direction we came from, so we're back in the mountains. Okay. I guess that's the end of the day, as it's now night. So we have to camp. We are not making it to the Tower of Midnight at this rate. It's taken, what, like 5 days to get from this village around here? Guess the world is going to end. Okay, let's make a camp roll. We do have our camping gear, though, so we get a +10 to that. And we get a critical success on the camping roll. So let's see if that gets anything special. Critical, recover D10 HP and D6 fatigue. Okay. 2 HP. That's actually worse than a regular success. A regular success would have been D6 plus 2, which is a minimum. Okay, I think I'll just say that should be a minimum of 3, surely. So I'll recover 3 hit points. And D6 fatigue. 2 fatigue, okay. Let's note down our bad day. How do you get lost so badly you end up climbing a mountain you're trying to walk next to? Oh, I'm also poisoned, so I lose 2 hit points. Okay, that was day 15. Yep, I crossed that off. So it's a new day. I need to mark off a ration. And I need to roll for the weather. 2. That's good. Got a new day. We need to make it to the village of Kor today. It's things are going badly enough already. Let's see. There's a Doomdark's warrior here. So we need to go northeast. I believe we can only move 1 hex, right? Because we're starting in a mountain. Yes, we're starting in a mountain. We don't have a horse, so we can only move 1 hex. So we need to go northeast. That's okay. We get 1 point of fatigue. Right, so that was the morning. It's now the afternoon. So I need to go north. That's all okay. Get 1 more point of fatigue, so I'm gonna... I don't really have any room for error on traveling here. I believe... yeah, I will be fatigued after my next move. So let's hope I get into the village of Kor. Okay, trying to go north. 77, that is not a success. It's a 4, which means I veer off. I stay in the same place. I assume that means I take. Actually, exhausted current fatigue higher than max fatigue, so I guess my fatigue is now 10. But I guess I can still move because it's not higher than my max. So I have. I need to now try again in the next quarter of the day. So it is now evening. And I have 1 movement action left before I am fatigued. So I'm going to try to move north once more into the village. If I make it into the village, I'll be able to rest the night and it'll all be fine. 38. I make it into the village. I take my 11th point of fatigue. But I'm in the village. So I will spend the night. Let's consult the village costs table. I believe it was. Yes, 4 silver coins to spend the night. I recover 10 HP and my fatigue drops to 0. But then I lose 2 hit points because I'm poisoned. Let's see if I can deal with poisoning. Village prices. I guess if I rest and I can spend a venom thorn leaf, I can just be unpoisoned. Maybe. Anyway, I made it to the village of Kor. Let's just lump these 3 things together because I was just doing the same thing all 3 quarters. Okay, so now on day 17. First thing I'm going to do is see a healer. But we need to do the day admin first. So we need to cross off a day and roll for the weather. 0. Heavy wind. Okay, bad traveling weather. Maybe we spend the day here. But yes, first thing I'm going to do is rest, which will cost my last 2 silver coins. I'm now completely broke. But rest, I just succeed, so I'm going to mark off a Venom Thorn leaf, unmark my poison condition, and recover d6 hit points. 6. Next thing I'm going to do is hang on, it's a special site, isn't it? So I should have actually looked up the special sites table to see what happens here. Let's do that now. Pretend this happened last night. The village of Kor. Coronel the Fae resides here, loyal to their kin and eager to offer assistance. Follow the rules for companions. If you have not yet visited, Coronel informs you that a wicked Skullcrin patriarch is hiding in the nearby cavern of Kor. Not only does he terrorize the entire region, but he has stolen a renowned epic armor belonging to the Fae. I quite like epic armor, but Um, hmm. I guess it's kind of on the way, right? Like if I could imagine, like one, two, one, two. I could get there like in two quarters of the day, and then like swing north. Yeah, it's be like a day to get there, do the thing, and then camp. Anyway, Coronel the Fae, we can try to approach them to recruit them. So let's do that in the afternoon. Let's go check our companion rules. Yeah, but it's only Forkryn the Skullkryn and Farflame the Dragonlord that join automatically. I need to roll for Coronel the Fae. And if I get a 1 or a 2, he will not join me. 3. Coronel the Fae joins me. Let's note that down. Let's see if Coronel the Fae lasts. Okay, what do we get here? I got 24 HP. Right, Coronel the Fae. 24 HP, a +2 to my melee. +2 to my defense. Which means that this is actually a 29 now. And a +1 to my damage. And 1 to my perception. It gives me a bonus to first aid and 6 rations. The rations are very welcome. Okay, so that's the afternoon. I don't really want to travel in the evening because of the bad weather. Like camping would be. I don't have any money though, so I can't actually camp in the village. I will need to make the camping skill check. In which case, maybe moving out isn't such a bad idea if I'm camping out anyway. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so I need to make an endurance check to see whether it's a -20 or a -10 penalty. So I'll be moving out in the evening. So endurance check. That's just a 50-50 roll. Nope, that's a fail. So it is a -20. So orientation. I'm trying to go. Let's say southeast. Actually, no, northeast. Then I think if I veer off course, it's slightly better. So I'm trying to go northeast, but I have a -20. Right, I'm trying to go northeast. I'm at a site that counts as plains, which is a +20 bonus. It's bad weather, so I have a -20 bonus. So it's just a straight orientation roll of 57%. That's a success, and there's no Doom Dark or anything. I get 1 fatigue because I'm moving without a horse. I think I'm then going to try to go northeast again to Lake Core. That's a success and no problem. And that was all my evening movement because I don't have a horse. So now I'm going to try to camp. Was it Lake Core? I think it was Lake Core. Yeah. Okay, so we shall set up camp on the shores of Lake Core. I have my camping gear, which gives me a +10 bonus. It's bad weather, so overall I'm rolling at a -10, so 31. Nope, I failed to set up camp. What bad thing happens? 9 is the bad thing that happens. And a 9 is the area where we've camped has been windy and freezing all night. You've not been able to rest. Add 4 fatigue. Okay, that makes sense given the weather. Let's cross off another day closer to the end of the world. And roll for the weather. At 9 again, it's 9 again. It's awful weather again. But I think we need to press on. We don't have the time to just hang around. Right, let's try going southeast. 58. That's not a success because of the... Oh, I need to make my endurance check. Let's quickly do that. I succeeded on the endurance check, so it is only a -10% penalty, but that's still not a success. And it's a 4, so we stay in the same hex, and we have a Doomdark encounter. I think. Just double check what happens if you don't move. When you enter a new hex. So no Doomdark encounter because I did not enter a new hex. I just remained here stuck. Okay, so let's try going southeast again. 48. That's not a success because I would need to get a 47. It's a 2, so I actually veer off to the left. So I was trying to go down here, but I actually end up here. And is there any... There's no Doomdark encounter. There isn't a regular encounter either. So gain a fatigue. That was my morning movement. Now for my afternoon movement. I'm going to give up on the Cavern of Core. I'm just going to try going north east. That's a success and no encounters or anything. Still get 1 fatigue. Traveling without a horse is very punishing. Let's try going north again. 56. Everything is fine. And I guess I want to go... So at the beginning of the session, I had a very restful time at Lake Valathos. I think I want to try to get to this Lake Moon. So let's try... So it's now the evening. So let's try going northwest. If I can get to Lake Moon, maybe that'll be good in the morning to recover my fatigue. Nope, that's a failure. It's a 4, I stay in the same place. So no encounters. Let's try moving northwest again. Nope. But that's a 2, so we veer off to the left. I'm actually back in the forest. and no Doom Dark encounter, and no regular encounter either. Okay, but I gain 1 fatigue, so now at my max fatigue, so I can only move 1 more space tomorrow. And we need to camp. So let's try camping. Nope, that's a failure there, so something bad happens tonight. 3. The area is very humid and the Moskrin won't leave you alone. 2 Moskrin attack us. Okay, let's note some things down. So this is day 18. No. Try to reach Lake, Moon. Actually, I think this one should have been a success because there's the plus 20 bonus from traveling in planes. So I think we actually made it there, which is still not at Lake Moon, but it's a bit better than being in the forest. Okay, so we made it to Lake Moon. No, we didn't make it to Lake Moon. And then at night we had a bad night when we were attacked by Moskrin. Where's the K in Moskrin? There we go. Okay, let's see. These numbers correct. 24 hit points. Yep, that's all good. It would be kind of funny if both of my Morkin games ended with being killed by Moskrin. Okay, Moskrin, which look like this. Okay, right. Let's put Coronel the Fey first because I don't have any hit points to lose. He can be my meat shield. His maximum HP is equal to my current, like, pitiful HP. Okay, Moskrin. These guys only have 10 hit points. 45 melee. Defense value of 20, no armor, and 30 perception. My god, a foe that's even weaker than me. Okay, let's roll for perception. I just hit my perception. The Moskrin failed, so we're going to go first with a plus 10 bonus to hit. Got 2 of these guys. Okay, I will spend my first round aiming. So the Moskrin go first. 30, that just hits. So Coronel's going to take 4 damage. And the second Moskrin. Oh, I need to roll for what sort of attack it does. 3. Okay, normal attack. And it's d6 minus 2. So, okay. Coronel's actually at 22. Okay, second Moskrin. Doing normal attack. 37, that's a hit. So it is 4 damage to Morkin. 3 damage to Morkin because of the armor. Okay, now attacking the first Moskrin. I have aimed, so I have a 64% chance of hitting it, which is not too bad, but not good enough. Okay, Moskrin. Normal attack, miss. Normal attack, hit for 2 damage. I shall aim again. That's a miss. That's a miss. $53. That's a hit. So 3, 6, 7 damage. Miss. Miss. I aim. Miss. Miss. That is a hit of 5 damage. Does damage roll over or is excess damage lost? Let's have a look. Yes, excess damage beyond what is needed to defeat one foe can be transferred to another enemy in the group. Okay, so it's 6 damage because I get a +4 when I aim. So that one is gone and that one's down to 7. Or rather, I get a +3 when I aim and I have a +1 weapon. So it's a +4 overall. Okay, the next... so yes, back to the Moskrin. Miss. 45. That is just a hit, but it's 1 damage, so it's absorbed by my armor. I spend a round aiming, so the Moskrin attack again. Miss. And 24. That's below my defense value. That's a miss. So I attack the Moskrin. 49. That's a hit. It's 7 damage, which is enough to kill it. Okay. Did not die to Moskrin. That would have been embarrassing. It's 2 more XP. Inching ever closer to being able to level up. And it has some loot. We've got a Moskrin leg and a Moskrin wing. Which I can hardly imagine are worth very much. Let's just have a look at the street market table. Yeah, they're worth more than I would have thought. But not great, really. Okay, so that was a Restless Night. So we don't get any extra fatigue, but not good. Okay. Right, so we're now on day 19. And just to remind you all, we have 30 days to save the world, so it's not looking good. So, day 19. Sorry, that was day 18 done. Need to mark off rations. And roll for the weather. 7. Okay, no effects. That's good. After 2 days of awful weather, it's nice to have something plain and boring. Probably just going to travel all day again. Oh, no, we're not, because we're fatigued. So, yes, I'm going to try to go north to Lake Moon. So, and then try to rest there. So that's going to be a 77% chance roll. That is an 88. That is not a 77. We've got a 2, so we veer to the left. No Doomdark encounter. No regular encounter. Okay, but now we're fatigued. So that's all we can do. So we have to rest. Okay, rest. You just reduce your fatigue by d6, and you can attempt a first aid skill check to heal yourself and your companions. But there's a chance of wandering foes. Okay. I don't have any bandages, so I'm not going to try to heal up. But so we do just get rid of d6 fatigue, which is good. 6 fatigue. Okay, so we're down to 5 fatigue. But we need to roll a d10. If we get a 1, we have an encounter and don't rest at all. Okay. Okay, no encounter. Okay. I feel getting through the mountains is going to be tricky without a horse and with fatigue so high, but it might just be the best course of action. Well, let's try going northeast, I guess. So it's now evening, as in we spent the afternoon resting. So let's try going northeast to Lake Moon. That's a critical success. Orientation slowly moving up. Was there anything special about crits on this? Orientation skill check. If you get a critical success, you avoid gaining any fatigue. That's nice. Okay, let's try going northeast again. That's a 96. That is a failure. It's a 5, so we veer off. Oh, I said northeast, so we veer off here to the right. We don't have a Doomdark encounter. We don't have a regular encounter. Okay, now I'm going to try going north with our last... Well, okay, first we get a point of fatigue. Then with our last... No, that was our last movement of the quarter because we don't have a horse. We can only move 2 hexes at a time. So that was our evening. Looking at the map. So this session so far, we've kind of gone like... somewhat like this. It's a very roundabout path, but I guess we have actually moved a fair distance. So we might make it to the Tower of Doom in time, but it is getting pretty close. And in a couple of days' time, Doomdark encounters are going to step up, become more frequent. So only moving 2 hexes per quarter and needing to take frequent breaks to rest is pretty tough. But, well, it's nighttime now, so let's camp. We need to cross off rations. It's also about to run out of food as well in a few days. Let's perform a camp skill check, so that's a 51. Nope, something bad happens. 1 is the bad thing that happens. You are too noisy setting up your camp and attract the attention of a foe returning to his lair before nightfall. Roll on the encounters table. Okay, let's find that. We are in the plains. 3. 2 wolves. Wolves. Okay. At least they're just like regular wolves, not like a dire wolf. Here's a regular wolf, and here's a dire wolf. I much rather face the regular wolf. Right, what have we got? 20 hit points, 50 melee, 20 defense, still no armor, and 70 perception. So I think I'll probably resolve this wolf fight and then end streams. I've been at this for about 3 hours now, but I definitely want to wrap up a day rather than leave it in the middle of something. So let's start with our perception rolls. The wolves succeeded their perception. They succeeded really well. They completely beat us. So they're going first, and they get a +10 bonus to their first melee attack. And yes, they just have a regular, normal attack, nothing special. So wolf 1 misses. Wolf 2. 42. Yep, that hits. Coronel the Fae for 3 damage. I shall spend a round aiming. And the wolves attack again. That hits, but it's absorbed by my armor. Wolf 2 misses. Okay. I attack Wolf 1, having aimed. 59. That is a hit for 7 damage. Wolf attacks. 32. That hits Morkin for 4 damage. And Wolf 2 lunges at Coronel. 49, that hits for 3 damage. I aim. That's a miss. 34, that's a hit. .38 is a hit. That's 6. That's 10 damage. Hit. Uh, 55. Miss. I spend a round aiming. That's below my defense value. That's a miss. 44. That's a hit, but it's absorbed by armor. Okay. I strike the wolf, but miss. Okay. Wolf misses. I don't know why I can't read dice upside down. 64. Wolf misses. I spend a round aiming. Wolf misses. 32. That just hits. 4 more damage to Coronel the Fae. And now Morkin is in the line of fire. That's a crit. So I'm going to put a point in melee there. It's only 1 damage though, which kind of, well, it's 5 damage because of the bonuses, but it still kind of sucks. Yeah, let's put 1 more point in melee up here. Okay. So that was only 1 wolf, at least. Miss. I spend a round aiming. Wolf misses. I hit the wolf for 9 damage. Spend the wolf attacks and misses. I spend around aiming. The wolf attacks again. 45. Yep, that hits for 5 damage. I think I did the last one just to Morkin. Nope, that's a miss. 66. Wolf attacks. It's now on Morkin again. Nope. Miss. I spend a round aiming. The wolf attacks and misses. I attack the wolf. 31. 5 damage total. On the plus side, if we survive this, we'll level up, which will increase a bunch of our skills. Anyway, wolf attacks. That's hits. I'll spend a round aiming. The wolf attacks again. And misses. I miss. Wolf misses. Aim. 21. Wolf misses. Come on, I just need to get a 65 or less. Nope. 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 63, that is a hit. I kill the wolf. Okay, so that's 4 XP from the wolves. So I have 3 XP and I level up. So the way this works is I choose one of my attributes to increase by 1. All the skills which only depend on that attribute go up by 2. All the skills which partially depend on that attribute go up by 1. So what do I want to do? I mean, if I go for strength, that's going to boost both melee and defense, which seems useful. Yeah, let's go for strength. So defense is now 60 overall, which means our defense value is 30. Endurance is 52. So we're slightly better on those bad weather days. Hunting is 36. I have never hunted. My might is 52. I never used might. I'm not sure what that's even for. So my melee is now 67 overall. Yeah, that's let's update some hit points. So Morkin is down to 6 hit points and Coronel is down to 5. I need to cross the day off. So this was day 19. It should have been. Yes. And what we did today was we just okay, we traveled, we rested. We traveled again. We tried to head north, but got taken off track, I guess. Camped and were attacked by wolves. Okay, I guess I will end it here, and hopefully sometime within the next 11 days, we can make it up to the Tower of Doom. Uh, I, I don't know if we just make it there and win, or if there's some challenge when we get there. If there's some challenge we get, I feel that when we get to the Tower of Doom, if we do, we'll be stumbling in half dead. So if there is a challenge, it may not go very well, but we can only try. So yeah, I will pick this up on Monday next week for the next Morkin Monday. And this week there's 2 more streams. So Friday is going to be I'm going to be playing some Lichdom, which is a game about being an evil wizard trying to become a lich. Thinking maybe the lich will be the bad guy for the next Friday campaign. I don't know, we'll see. And then on Saturday I'll be continuing my first time playthrough of Disco Elysium. I started on Saturday last week, and my character had a mental breakdown an hour and a half into the game and quit his job to live under a bridge. It's very relatable, I'm sure, but that does mean I need to start again. So hopefully my next attempt at Disco Elysium will go a little bit better than my last one. But yeah, that's it. Thank you for tuning in to the stream. If you did enjoy it, consider following. See our little follow goal in the bottom right of the screen. Yes, see you next time. Have a good evening.